こんにちは。今紹介いただきました子どもたちを放射能から
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm from the NPO with the National Network of Appellants to Protect Children from Radiation. Thank you very much for coming. I'm the last speaker for today's session, and I know you're exhausted. However, you don't look like a lay person, and I'm just one of those citizens walking around the street because all of you seem experts with special knowledge. Therefore, I believe I represent the layperson, just ordinary people. Therefore, from a viewpoint of the layperson, as one of the citizens, I'd like to review what are the laws and rights to protect survivors, and then if I can inspire you to get the idea how we can protect children from the radiation, it's really good for me. I'm a mother of 4 children, and I'm also one of ordinary children. And I also network mothers with small children to organize the NPO, because now I believe I have to do something to think about what we can do as an ordinary people. In the sense, I share everyone's feeling, that is, we feel helplessness. We feel that there's nothing we can do. And still, there are some good news, such as the cabinet decision made yesterday. We feel we are trapped by the helplessness. However, we have to do something to protect our children, and that is the motivation for us to move on. And we have many colleagues, and we try to disseminate that voices to people as much as possible. That is a driver for us to move on. Now, the motto or slogan of our organization is to communicate, get bonding, and activate. We are not a nationwide NPO, but a small organization made by the mothers to protect the children, and there are many other similar organizations. There are already existing NGOs and POs playing a role in different areas, but everyone get together for us to share the same concept, and therefore right now more than 300 organizations collaborate with us through the close bond. There is some change, by the way, from your handout material, but networking activity is one of the pillars. The dissemination of information as well as educating the people is the second pillar, and the collaboration is the third pillar. On the July 12th of 2011, we were formally established. We prepared 400 seats. However, all of the seats were taken up, including mass media people. So we enjoyed huge exposure after the announcement of establishment. Right now, the Fukushima was trapped by the issue of 20 millisievert threshold. So timing cannot be better. And now we have established a thematic network, and we held many events as well as meetings in many places across Japan. We have also run the lobbying activities. The first pillar of disseminating information to social media such as Twitter, we try to share as much information as possible. And as you've heard, there is the civil community to protect children from radiation. We have collaborated with that, and there are many networks as well as the Nation Council to protect radiation from survivors. We have collaborated with these organizations. We also support mass media to release media, and we have used many tools to disseminate information related to the radiation as well as the survivors. Through these activities, what we see right now, I'd like to introduce activities by citizens on their own because I don't have much time, therefore I'd like to focus on the major items. First activity is the submission of the opinion of a proposal on the law on support for children and other victims of nuclear accidents. As you can see here, there are about 135 local governments have submitted the opinion to implement the support law for children. Suddenly, on the August 31st, the basic policy for this law was submitted. However, some of the proposals said that such a vague basic policy or the policy of the law cannot implement the law, and we plan for the second batch of proposal submission to make it in time for the next diet session, because just an enactment of the law is not sufficient. Our representatives, lawmakers, have to implement as an administrative tool. In order for us to do that, we have to let our voices heard to the Diet Parliament members, and there are several approaches we can do. For instance, we can ask our local government to submit our opinion paper to the local government. The government says that it's just a list of wish items from the citizens. Therefore, it seems that the government of Japan does not have any intention to act on those proposals. However, we have to practice democracy. Therefore, as one of the methods of practice democracy, we have to lobby all of the local governments to submit the proposals as a combination of our voices and the opinions. The second activity is the measurement of radiation to visualize the level of radioactivity. Because we cannot see radiation, it's very hard for us to take action. Therefore, we encourage measurement. For instance, this is one of the examples. We start the measurement of aerial dose. And if people could evacuate, it's good. However, there are some people who cannot evacuate due to some reasons. And the more problematic is that that person may have a small child. Therefore, we use what we call a hotspot finder to identify where the radioactivity is very high. Some of the local governments have purchased this special device to identify a hotspot. Left-hand side pictures show the measurement activities together with the local government. On left-hand side, this open space is for playing ground for children. However, surrounding roads has a lesser level of radiation. Playing ground for children has way higher radiation. We found it as a result of our measurement activity. Another example is the city of Emiko in Tochigi Prefecture. This local government has also used a hotspot finder, and there are many organizations that have collaborative relationships with us, such as Safecast. They have put also the radiation activity data. In addition to the aerial dose measurement, we also measure the contamination of soil, because we can see more detailed contamination level by getting a measurement in the soil. For example, there is the COP of Joso and the Matsudo City, Chiba Prefecture. The COP members of citizenship have collaborated with us to sample the soil to get the measurement of contamination, and we put it on the map. So is Nagano Prefecture. The citizenship observation post was established. There is another example of Sea Labo. Together with Iwate Prefecture, we have surveyed Iwate soil. Together with nationwide organizations are also very they are also active, and the local organizations. For example, they have get the measurement of the local community soil. As a region, the community has the 200 becquerel. However, if the soil is accumulated as a small mound, then that mound can have as a high level as 5,000 to 8,000 becquerels. And the problem is that children like mud and mound, and they use those mounds as the playground, meaning that children might be exposed to very high level of radiation. At any rate, whatever data and information we get, next important thing is to share that data with civil societies. For example, this organization, CSIR, has the information disclosing system to let people know the radiation level, and more than 100 organizations or sample points are now established. It seems too high for us to set up 100 sampling point or observation points, but now we have realized it because these 100 observation points are operated by civil societies. Therefore, we can open up all of the data we get. If this data was taken harvested by the local government or the central government, some of the data might not be disclosed. However, these observations have been operated by ourselves. That's why we can open up everything. And we can also let people know the potential risk, because many people, especially the mothers with small children, are concerned about the safety. And in the form of PDF, there is the website specialized in the observation data of radiation at the Ministry of Internal Affairs. However, I believe not so many ordinary people open this section to check the radiation level, especially for busy mothers with small children. Therefore, we set up an automatic emailing system to let people know the radiation level, especially the concerned foods, because some foods tend to accumulate higher level of radiation. And then it's easy to read. This is a user-friendly table to alarm people. The importance of visualization of radiation, we have done this much as an ordinary people. Now, this third example is the private sector collaboration. The first activity is the school lunch and aerial dose measurement. This is our first activity, and after that we worked on the local governments to collaborate with us on the nationwide basis. The suppliers, logistics, and producers, all of them have to get involved. Therefore, we set up a tripartite meetings. It's a really hurdle or barrier to surpass, but we successfully made a collaboration. In addition to that, because of the reputational damage, groundless reputational damage, some manufacturers don't want to talk with the civic societies directly, and there is still a barrier. However, in order to resolve such a barrier, chosen, but when the manufacturers and ordinary people, there is only one way to do it, that is disclosing data by measuring it. Even though we know it, sometimes highly contaminated food can be put on the logistics. We have to stop it, and then the threshold warning is another problem. It's already the 13 months have passed, and many people start to resign themselves to the current status. However, in order to motivate them to stand up to work on this issue, we have to visualize radiation. Activity 4 is the refreshing activities or entertainment activities supported by the private sectors and the local governments. The importance of recreational activities have been already proven in Chernobyl accident. After 3/11, Fukushima children or children in contaminated area were trapped in a very contained area, and we, as well as other many supporting organizations, stood up to provide refreshing activities, opportunities, and we have remarked third leisure activities. However, we found there are many problems coming to surface, such as the exhaustion as well as the financial issues. These activities have been supported by the many companies as well as the private sectors. However, biggest contributor is local government in some cases, such as the Tagai Road, small compact bus provided grant provided by some local governments. The new way of refreshing activities provided by the evacuees and the victims themselves. Such an activity is now born after 2 years of the 311. For example, some of the share house and refreshing houses are operated by the victims. We direct or we try to establish a mechanism to garner the support money or the grants. And we had a meeting yesterday. But there is a huge difference for those who enjoy refreshing activities and for those who don't. However, we would like to provide equal opportunities when it comes to refreshing activities. With that concept in our mind, we have initiated fifth activity, that is to support refuge and migration by the private sector and local government. There are many NPOs working for this, and we also connect local government to the other local government. We have conducted this activity last year and this year. However, there are some faculty issues because there are chaperone. There must be chaperone attending our children. And it's really hard to ensure that in addition to that, there are only the 4-day, 3-night trip we can provide. Still, we have more opportunities this year than last year. And the kindergarten children should have an opportunity to enjoy. Therefore, some NPO provide satellite classes and weekend classes. Then the activity 6 is support by the private sector as well as by the local government. As Mr. Fukuda mentioned, the leased housing system was referred. And it's really hard for the civil society to do that, and this is where local government has to do. Even if the support is not wide and strong, still the local government has to do it. For example, Hiroshima Tsuchikawa organization has an organization to operate, for example, the shared house. The migration or relocation, this is difficult. Therefore, we are still in supporting phase rather than letting people resettle in different places. But during those tentative situation, we provide medical services support. And I believe you know the KKK issue. If the people want to get the second opinion, it's really hard. In addition to that, the living record immediately after the accident is now being lost. However, it should be recorded in medical chart or other official records because it will be really helpful for the future. Therefore, in order to support that, the local governments as well as the private sectors are now providing support. And some individuals try to find out doctors to get medical service by using the word of mouth. And we see more and more consultation services for victims. One of the innovative change is the further development of the examination of the school. It's just the visual checking and
っていました。これを自治体との協力でせめて拡充ということで、新現実の小学校4年生の
the manipulation examination or palpation for the thyroid cancer, but it's now implemented across the schools. In addition to that, blood cell fractions as well as the other examinations are now provided to children, and the law practitioners consultation service is now available. There are some local governments offering such type of services. Thanks to the private sector or civil society support, for example, in some area, the foundation is established to provide echography to detect thyroid cancer. Now, 30 months have passed, and we are now standing at the watershed moment to determine what we have to do as the next step. Many experts have generously shared many expertise today, as we've seen today, and the lawyers have expressed what are the legal issues we have to work on, and based on this knowledge, we have to consider what we can do as one of the citizens. Of course, we have been exhausted in the past 2.5 years, and we don't have enough human resources, financial resources. I believe the situation is the same for any parties. However, we see the line of hope because nowadays more and more local governments are proactive to get involved in these supporting activities. There are research as well as a study by the experts as well as by companies as part of CSR, and there is a huge significance of mass media, and there is a transmission of the broadcasting of this event. That's why we can share this symposium with more people than those who attend here. So now is the time to go back to the starting principle to protect children from radiation. I don't know why I'm standing here on the podium because I'm just a mother and a housewife. Still, we can do, there's always something we can do because we have to protect children. Even if we can protect only one child, it's enough and it's a huge success for us. And I'd like to appeal the importance for you to stand up.